I've spent most of my life travelling the world. As a travel writer with the Irish Independent, I get to travel far and wide and often for short periods of time. So contrary to what people might think, it can be very compressed and sometimes a little stressful. So when I get a chance to walk in the countryside in Ireland, I get to breathe more, to slow down, and I love it. I'm spending a long day walking 3 interlinking routes around the Bray area of Wicklow. The Bray Head Trail, the Belmont Way, and the Sugarloaf Way. My name is Pól O Conghaile, and this is my Tracks and Trails. I'm here bright and early this morning on Bray Prom. I'm going to start off here and I'm going to walk over Bray Head up here, start with a nice stretch of the calves to get up high and go cross country here towards the Sugarloaf. It's a couple of different interconnecting trails, but it's going to take me the best part of the day. I'm packed up with all the gear. I got my water, I got my snacks, I got my phone, I got my charger, my maps are on here, and my camera for stills and video along the way. It's a toughen up stretch at the start up Bray Head, so I've got the proper shoes on, and of course, because we're walking in Ireland, I've got all my rain gear and my layers as well, so I'm ready to go. My walk today is taking me across 3 different walks: the Bray Head Trail, the Belmont Way, and the Sugarloaf Way. I'm starting at Bray Promenade and heading up to the peak at Bray Head. From there, I'm going to loop inland, descending to Belmont Demesne, which is the start of the Belmont Way. From here, I'll head up to the Little Sugarloaf, and skirting around the peak, I'll arrive in Kilmechanic, which brings me onto the Sugarloaf Way. Bray is very well connected with Dart and bus links, and there are plenty of places to stay. The promenade's well known to people in North Wicklow and South Dublin as the start point for the cliff walk between Bray and Greystones. However, I'm heading on a different loop, and one less travelled. The trail I'm walking veers right just before the cliff walk and quickly ascends. It's a steep climb, but luckily it's short and can be done in under half an hour. Bray Head is just under 250 metres high. This trail is a mixture of path, trail and steps, and the route is very popular with walkers. It's a steep climb, but it's a really short one. If you think about it, it takes about 20 or 30 minutes to come up from the prom. And what I like about it is you gain these views really quickly. I can see Wicklow Mountains, Bray, and over behind me here, right across to Dalkey Island. I'm turning a corner here and heading up to the summit and the cross. It should be just a couple of minutes. With the top in sight, I'm looking forward to the scenery. Bray Head has some of the best views you'll get in Dublin and County Wicklow. Wow. That's something, and it's worth the climb. It's such a crisp day too, you can see so far. I didn't expect that. I think we've got a couple of counties, Wicklow, Dublin, even in the distance in Louth. It's beautiful. The cross was built here in 1950 for a religious celebration called the Holy Year. And to my mind, it was a feat of engineering in itself getting the materials up here, and that's before the building even started. And the result? An iconic Wicklow landmark that can be seen from miles around. And now the next adventure. There are 2 peaks on Bray Head, and they're linked by this headland. The views are spectacular, and if you're lucky, you might even see a bit of local wildlife. I'm between Bray and Greystones now, and I can see the cliff walk down below me here with people walking on it over the Dart line. But it feels much wilder, it feels more remote than that. We have the sea and the ocean out here and the colours of the heather and the rock in front of us. Bray Head this way, Greystones that way. can see Greystones down there with the cliff walk leading into it and Wicklow Head Lighthouse in the distance. But I'm going this way, over the hill to Belmont Way. From here, I'm looping inland and descending again. This brings me out on the road just beside Belmont Demesne. After only 100 metres or so along the road here, the Belmont gates appear. The estate's private land, but the Belmont Way opened up in 2019, so it's a new trail and it's great. It's picturesque, there are lots of walks, there's plenty of parking and even a cafe. And there's another activity here that I've been dying to try for ages. Fat bikes.
Ian, how are you doing?
Well, how's things? How are you? Welcome.
Pretty good. So
Good.
these are the fat bikes.
These are the fat bikes.
And we're going to have a go.
Absolutely. Would you
Let's
like to
do
come
it.
this way?
Uh-huh.
Let's get you a helmet. There we go.
Great.
Over here.
I can't wait.
So here are the bikes, Paul.
Good stuff. They
Yeah.
look like they're hard to push around. How's it going to work?
Fat bikes are mountain bikes. They're just mountain bikes with big fat tyres.
Good stuff. Okay, so why the fat tires?
They were invented for snow. When you take the pressure out of them, they act like snowshoes. Big wide contact patch, lots of weight distribution. We use them around here on the trails because they're just great fun to ride and lots of grip.
Well, so they can go on all kinds of surfaces. It can be gravelly or rock.
These will go anywhere. They are a go anywhere type of bike, so.
Or I should have been doing this all along.
This is the future.
All right, let's do it.
Right, let's go. Follow me.
Well, I'm wide awake now. I should have got one of these down in Bray Prom.
Should have got one of these years ago.
Took the day on it. Brilliant. Thank you so much.
Good thing.
Appreciate it.
With a little bit of adrenaline to burn off, I'm on foot again. This time heading through Belmont, along the Belmont Way and going towards the Little Sugarloaf mountain. I'm beginning to wonder whether this walk should be called the Walk of Four Peaks, as there's a lot of climbing and descending. This is what the protein bars are for. Luckily, the whole route is easy underfoot. The trails are well constructed and a pleasure to walk on. And the whole route is well signed and marked with plenty of yellow way markers. That's a workout, but look at the view. You can see the whole trail that I've traced so far from Bray Head right down through Belmont Demesne, up and onwards to the Little Sugarloaf. Next stop. There's lots of walking groups and walking meetups that use these trails. I've always found that walkers are friendly people, and I've certainly found that to be the case in Wicklow. There's always someone who'll stop for a chat. How are you, lads?
How are you doing?
I'm Paul.
Ted, nice to meet you.
Good to meet you, Ted.
Hey, how are you, Andrew?
Good. How are you doing, Andrew?
Are you guys in a walking group?
Yeah, we hike with Wicklow Hiking and Adventure Group.
Where would you guys go? Is it mostly around Dublin, Wicklow?
Yeah, mainly around the Wicklow Mountains and into South Dublin, and then up around towards Howth there as well.
What kind of people do you have in the groups then?
You get all kinds of people, really. Different ages of people, people who work in different careers, different jobs.
Young single people, older divorced people, people who've ended up even going on long-term relationships, and two got married actually this year who had met, 4 or 5 years ago through the group. So it's pretty cool the way that can happen at times,
I quite like that about walking. When you get chatting and you sort of plodding along and chatting to each other, it feels like it doesn't matter where you've come from, you're just having the conversations. There's a nice kind of unplug from.
Yeah, it's a very natural way of getting to talk to somebody. Yeah, you can get talking about anything when you're out hiking, It's good for the head and to, clear your mind after a week of work, especially on a Saturday or something like that.
Good stuff. All right, well, I'm going to carry on this way. I won't keep you any longer. Good to meet you.
Nice
Ted,
to meet you.
thanks a
Lovely to
million.
meet you.
Andrew, appreciate it.
your
Enjoy
day,
the
man.
walk.
You too.
See you.
See you.
Bye, guys.
On the other side of the Little Sugarloaf, I'm back on the road, but only for a short while. My route is taking me to Kilmechanic. Here, I'll cross the N11 via the footbridge and head on towards the big Sugarloaf. This is the Sugarloaf Way, and it's the last leg of my walk. Kilmachannig is a small townland along the N11, and it's a good place to recharge. It's also a good hub to pick up buses to Bray and Dublin. This stretch of the Sugarloaf Way is a long road, but only for a short while. Some of the turns along here can be deceptive and look like driveways, but there are plenty of way markers. If you watch out for them, you'll be fine. This part of the trail is called the Viking Road and has been a road and a walking way for hundreds of years.
This was actually the old road between Kilmachannig and Roundwood. So if you can imagine 100 or more years ago, you would have had horses and carts coming along here between the two towns. And today, I know the motorway isn't too far from us, but it's just that kind of clean country air, not a sound in it.
At the top of the old road, the big Sugarloaf mountain reveals itself. The Sugarloaf is one of the most walked and climbed mountains, certainly in Wicklow, but also in Ireland. It's an iconic mountain, a familiar sight to all who travel through Wicklow and South Dublin. And a landmark for centuries for everyone travelling the East Coast, as far back as pilgrims and scholars coming to and from Glendalough. My route takes me along the shoulder of the Sugarloaf to the last stretch of my walk. The Sugarloaf's height is deceptive. It looks a lot taller than it is. At only 500 metres high, it's relatively quick to climb.
Now you can climb it, you can turn up, it's a short, steep burst, but I've done enough of those for today, and my finishing line is just down here. Now I'm coming to the end of my walk at this stage, and I really enjoyed it. The whole county of Wicklow feels like an amenity. All of these trails that I've been walking over these couple of days lead into each other. They're interconnected, whether you're north in the county, south in the county. Highlights like Bray Head and the Sugarloaf. Fat bikes, had the widescreen moments, but also had those little intimate details. That makes Wicklow really special. I've loved it. Get out there.